Hey there, if you are currently in your 20s and you feel like you are stuck in your career or stuck in life or wondering if you're making the right decisions or going down the right path, this video is for you. And you know what? Even if you're in your 30s and you're like, I feel stuck. Am I where I'm supposed to be? What am I doing with my life? This video will also help you out. My name is Chelsea J. I am with Season and Growing. I am a career and leadership coach, and I help my clients gain the courage, clarity, and confidence to build the careers and lives that they want and that they love and that bring peace and joy and just all the good things. Today, we are going to talk about all of the things that I wish I knew in my 20s. And we're doing that because there's a lot of mistakes that I made, falling flat on my face, making decisions that at the time I thought were best, but maybe they weren't. Maybe I was in my people pleasing era. If you're a people pleaser, raise your hand. You and I relate. But I am just here to share some of the gems that I've learned along the way to help you from making all of the mistakes. By the way, if you are here and this sounds like content that you will love, make sure to like and subscribe and drop a comment below and let me know which one resonates with you the most. Quick thing, I decided since I have so many lessons that I've learned over the years, I am going to break this out into two separate videos. I don't know why I did two, whatever, right? Two separate videos. One will be all about, everything I wish I knew in my 20s about careers, and then the other ones will be all about life and relationships. Today we're going to talk about careers because I am a career coach and that's one of my favorite topics. I didn't number them. I'm just going to say what comes to mind. And if you're wondering why we're in my bedroom today, it's because this is a personal conversation. This is one of those where I'm like, I don't want to be in a stuffy office talking to you. I want this to be you and me right here. You're sitting on this bed with me and I'm just spilling all the gems, and you can even see Apollo. Ha! There he is. Okay, I got 15 minutes and then I got to go to lunch with a friend. Okay, here we go. So, things that I wish I knew in my 20s. Number one, I said I wasn't going to number these. I'm just going to say them and then my husband will leave a number on each one. How about that? All right. I wish that I knew that my career wouldn't be linear. Yours won't be linear, right? The world has changed so much over the years. Companies are laying off people left and right. Industries are changing. The industries that were booming are now stalling out. So that means that what you originally thought you were going to do with your career, you might not. And on another note, I should probably say this as a more personal thing and not just dependent on companies. Your mind might change. For example, you might go to school for engineering, you get into it and you realize this doesn't fit me or my personality. I was just thinking about money at the time. That's okay. You can pivot, you can move. You can develop new skills in order to get the type of job you want and live the type of life that you want to live. So it doesn't have to be linear. That is okay. I, over the years, have worked with a lot of job hoppers, what people like to call job hoppers, and career changers. And the most important part of making that pivot and making that change is owning your story, owning who you are and the decisions that you made. As long as you can stand behind what decision you made at the time and you can eloquently explain it, you're fine. Other people will buy into it. It will be okay. And as long as you're at peace with the decision, then you're good. That's all that matters, right? Sorry, y'all know I'm animated and I do all the things. Okay. Next, it's not always about the money. When I was in my 20s, I was focused on money. I was like, how much can I make? How big of a title can I have? That's what it was all about, because it was more of a status thing. If I make this much money, if I hold this title, I will have arrived, right? But when I made the money and I got the title that I wanted, disclaimer, I became an executive director at the age of 26 because I was grinding really hard trying to get that title that I thought I had to have and climb that ladder that I thought I needed to climb based on what society says. Okay, but anyways, it's not all about the money. I cannot tell you how many professionals that I coach that are making well over six figures, right? But they're miserable. They don't have any downtime. They don't do self-care. They don't have any time with their family. They're not taking days off. They are burnt out and stressed, but they're making, $3, $4, $500,000 or more, but they're not happy. And I really want you to prioritize peace over a paycheck. The money will come. You can work with, for the most part, you can work with whatever amount that you are, that your salary is, right? Whatever you're making, you can make it work. But my priority for you is your peace. And it took me until I got in my mid-30s, which I am now, to realize, oh, I really value my peace. I value time with my family. I value traveling. I value experiences. Not this money, okay? I mean, I like money. Don't get me wrong. We all want money, but you need to definitely find a balance, all right? Focus on impressing yourself. For me, I grew up constantly trying, again, people pleaser in the building. I've worked on it a lot, so I don't do it as much now. But I was always so focused on impressing others, impressing my parents, impressing family members, making sure that others thought that I had arrived. When at the end of the day, those people are living their lives. They don't matter. They don't have to go through what I have to go through on a daily basis. And I was making moves and taking positions and doing all the things that I thought I needed to do. But at the end of the day, I wasn't really impressed with myself. I was tired and I was exhausted and I wasn't really happy. I was more stressed. And also another thing that I wish I would have known was pursue whatever it is you want to pursue. No matter how big of a goal, how big of a dream, how weird it sounds to other people, go after it. Now, depending on what you believe in, where you're at spiritually and mentally, I believe that God gives us all gifts that we are supposed to use, in order to glorify Him and also make the world a better place. And when we are so focused on going down a path that others want for us, whether it's our parents, teachers, guidance counselors, friends, whatever it is, we might not necessarily be using the gifts that we were given, which in turn leads you to being exhausted, unfulfilled, and all the things. I won't go into it in this video, but there were certain things that I wanted to do when I was younger, but it scared people closest to me, and they were like, no, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Stay in the safe lane. And who knows where I would have been, if I would have just went after the thing. So I'm telling you, go after the thing. And you don't have to tell everybody what it is that you're doing, but find people who are doing the thing that you want to do. Find people who will uplift and support you and encourage you and give you the resources or connect you to the resources that will help you reach that goal. Your decisions don't have to make sense to everybody. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Your decisions don't have to make sense to everybody. They just need to make sense to you. And that's what matters most. Don't be afraid to fail. When I was younger, I was so stuck on, nope, I have to completely analyze and overthink the situation before I go for it because I don't want to fail. But you know what? The older I got, I realized that failing is a part of growing. And you don't even have to call it failure. It's more of a lesson. Okay, I made a misstep, but here's what I learned from this lesson. That's what I want you to do. Try new things. Go after it. Go after that big goal. Go after that big dream. Try something that you've never tried before. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. You learned a lesson. And guess what? With lessons, you can learn, you can grow, you can improve, you can tweak, and you can get better and nail it next time. If you spend all of your time being afraid to fail, you won't ever do the thing. That's just your excuse not to do it. Don't be afraid of failure. It's okay to realize that you no longer want something that you once did. When I was in my 20s, my biggest goal was, I want to be a director. I want to be CEO. I want to be in that executive suite. That's all that matters to me. And once I got it, I realized so many things. Maybe we'll do a story time on a separate video. But after I got it, I realized, you know what? This isn't what I really wanted. This isn't what I thought it would be. And I was so nervous at the time to make the change and go from being an executive director to just a regular employee or just a manager, just a mid-level manager. I was so nervous about that. But hindsight, and as I've grown, I've realized that I'm entitled to change my mind. And I don't have to justify that to anyone. But in interviews, you do need to be able to tell a story, and we will talk about that in another video. I will say this, as long as you can stand behind the decisions that you made and you know your why behind the decision, no one can hold that against you. And you just need to be able to straight up tell the why. Kind of along the same lines, but I feel like I need to put this in here just because it's a lesson that I learned. And not necessarily, well, you know what? I'll just say it. You are not defined by your title or how much you make. I've learned this just through coaching. I have met with so many incredibly talented professionals that make a lot of money and have amazing titles. And when they lose that, whether it's due to a workforce reduction, layoff, a career change, I noticed that their self-esteem and confidence and who they thought they were just immediately crumbles. And I'm like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? You're still the same person. You still have the same skill set. You still have the same capabilities. Why are you now acting like you're just shrinking yourself and can't do anything else? And that all comes from wrapping yourself up into your title and your amount of pay. That's all temporary, and that can change and that can be taken away in an instant. You need to constantly remember who you are at the core. And that includes knowing what you believe in, what you value, and what you care about. That's your reputation, and that's your brand, and that's what matters at the end of the day. I learned this one as well, and now I teach it to my clients. But ask questions in interviews. At the end when you get to it and you're like, okay, I hit it out the park, and then they turn around and ask you, okay, do you have any questions for us? And you immediately clam up and freeze, and just to be easygoing and seem like everything's okay, you're like, no, when do you want this person to start? When will I hear back? That question's not really going to get you anywhere. It's not going to tell you about your future boss. Hopefully they're super, right? But that question is not going to give you an indicator on how your team is going to be to work with, how supportive your boss is going to be, the company culture, the benefits, the perks, all of that. That's not going to answer that. So if there's any remaining questions that you have, something that I always recommend asking just to figure out whether the culture is going to be toxic or whether you're going to have a great boss is ask your boss, what's your management style? What type of employees thrive under you? What do they specialize in? What do they do? How does the team work together? Right? When was the last time that you incorporated a suggestion that an employee gave you? Ask those questions. It will tell you everything that you need to know about the role and about your supervisor and about your future coworkers as well. And following up on that, I've also learned, trust your gut. You were given a gut for a reason, and if something feels off, don't talk yourself out of that odd feeling. When you meet someone new and you're like, something feels off. I didn't really get a good vibe. Or if you walk into an interview room and you're like, I don't know, the people seem strange, they seem off, they seem weird, they seem disgruntled. Do not shake that feeling off. Take it for what it is. If that's what you're feeling, that's what it is. Trust me. I've gone into many interview panels where the feeling felt off, And because at the time I valued money and I valued the title, I took the role. And once I got the role, guess what? It was a hot mess. The people were really weird and they were really awful. So please trust your gut. Another one, and I wrote a whole article on this and I will make sure to link it in the description below. But don't get it twisted. Your coworkers are not your friends and they're not your family either. And like I said, I have a whole article on why this is the case and you can dive into that. But I will simply say your colleagues, they don't have your best interest at heart. They don't owe you anything. They don't owe you loyalty, right? They don't know you like that. You are, if you are friends, you're friends out of convenience. And if they have an opportunity to throw you under the bus to save themselves, I will say 9 times out of 10, they will. Now, don't get me wrong. Once in a while, you will be fortunate enough to really connect with someone in the workplace and have a friendship outside of the workplace. But when I tell you that's rare, it is very rare. As someone who has changed careers 5 times myself and has been in and out of workplaces, I will tell you, the people that say, oh, we're going to keep in contact, even the ones that you went to happy hour with all the time, that doesn't always happen. Again, you're friends out of convenience because you're there. You have, a common disdain or hate for either your boss or the job itself. And that's what you bonded over. It's more of a trauma bond. It doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time, and I will say most of my clients come to me and they tell me stories of how people that they thought, were their friends in the workplace turned around and stabbed them in the back. So do not go to work thinking that you are going to be best friends. Okay? Keep it cordial, keep it professional, be kind, be helpful, but don't get too invested into workplace relationships. Stop telling everyone your plans, please. And this is in the workplace, and I'll add this one to the life video as well. But everybody doesn't need to know your plans. Again, these people aren't your friends. They're not your family. And even friends and family can stab you in the back. I know that's like, oh, you got dark there for a minute, but it's true. I've seen it happen. And keep in mind, I have been in different leadership roles where my not coworkers, but my employees that I thought were close would come to me throwing that person under the bus to make themselves look good. So I've seen this firsthand. I have clients who have gone through it. I know the things, and I've been there myself too, right? So for example, here's one thing. If you hate your job and you're starting to look for a new job, it's nobody's business in the workplace that you're looking for a new job and that you're interviewing. I know it might make you feel like, oh, I'm getting closer to this person by telling them this. No, that person will go run it up to leadership or run it up to other colleagues and say, hey, did you know so-and-so's looking for a job? Don't tell everybody your business. Finally, growing up, my parents always told me, and this is probably why I talk so much today and why I'm an advocate for people, but my parents always told me a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Ask for what you want. Advocate for yourself. And this is something that I teach my clients to do all the time. But in the workplace, your boss, your colleagues, no one is going to read your mind. Ask for what you want. Advocate for what you need. Here's an example. If your goal is to climb the ladder in your current workplace, or if your goal is to gain a new skill to help you become better at your job, you need to let somebody know. Preferably, if you have a good relationship with your boss, let them know what your goals are and ask them to support you. Okay? If a position opens up that's your ideal role, your boss needs to know beforehand that that's something up your alley so they can flag it for you. They can go and talk to that hiring manager and help you get that role you want and reach your goals. My experience has been people love helping out, but you need to ask and they need to know that you need it. Okay? So I hope that that has been helpful to you. Those are all of the things that I wish I knew in my 20s whenever I was building my career. And, career is still continuing to grow. Now I'm more focused on my business and helping you build the career and life that you want. Now, if any of these resonated with you, please leave a comment below. Tell me the lessons that you've learned. If you want more support in your career, book a consultation or power hour with me. That's one of my most popular services that I offer. If you have a dilemma, we can knock it out in an hour and you can leave with clarity and a plan to move forward. I'm here to help you. Okay, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're looking for more articles and videos on career development, make sure to stay tuned to this channel and also visit my website, www.seasonandgrowing.com, and check out my resources too. I have goal journals, I have a branding blueprint, and I have a career escape plan. Those are all workbooks and guides that will help you move forward and get closer to your goals. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Apollo, you want to say bye? Oh, I'm so sorry I woke him. Okay, bye.